So here we are on our property, and what you're looking at is the electrical conduit that's going to be laid into the trench, and it's 650 linear feet, I believe. We got Bill there from Ashland Pump, and that's all getting lined all the way up to the reservoirs. And that's for the electrical. And then we're going to put right next to that in the same trench the piping for the water line. And that's probably going to be next. Here, if you want to go with me all the way down to the wellhead, I'll take you down there. Because I don't know that we've done that yet. Here, let's go take a look. So I did not bring my gimbal, so please excuse the shakiness of the video. We've got a couple of lines that need to be repaired, irrigation lines. Not a problem. And that'll be taken care of before we close up this trench. Really nice. We have water here. When the irrigation's turned on, we have water along the way, provided by Talent Irrigation District. You see here some repairs that need to be made in the irrigation line. That is a good looking ditch. Gets really rocky down here. You had to use a jackhammer for a couple hours. Not exactly a couple hours, probably an hour. And we're going to bring in some fill dirt. Those are guinea hens, by the way, that you're listening to. They're really more of a maintenance bird. The guinea hens help to keep, well, bugs down, but more importantly, they kill rattlesnakes, from what I understand. So here we've got an adequate amount of depth, as you can see along the trench here. So no fill dirt needed. That's probably 18 inches, 24 inches down. But when we come to a little bit of this rocky section, we're gonna scratch up some fresh soil, maybe even bring in some fill dirt, and begin topping this off. Because in some sections, we might have, like this section here, we might have 12 inches of earth. So we're gonna line this with 3/4 minus and bed both water and electrical and sewage in this trench. But you can see most of it, we've got, say 24 inches, which is good. And it comes along here. Let me get out of the trench. A little easier to walk when you're not in the trench, sort of. Whoop, there we go. So here's a perfect example of one of the areas that I had to, just like up top, had to use the jackhammer. All this rock here gets a little on the high side, which for the electrical conduit's not a problem, but for your water lines, you want to make sure that they're well bedded. And so we're going to definitely need to bring in some topsoil in this area, and we'll mark it. And after fill, we'll spread out some topsoil, fill dirt, not topsoil, I misspoke. So what happens is that now we're going to be on a rock shelf towards the end as it comes out to the well. And right through here, we're just going to have to build up. Unfortunately, we're going to have to build up and bring soil right here, about 24 inches, and it gets flattened down and curved. So once grass grows, it looks perfectly natural. Oh, death of a guinea hen. No guinea hen remains. We see definitely feathers So there's either one that had a scuffle or one that's gone missing. But anyhow, which is unfortunate. Don't misunderstand my comment there. But when you live in the country, those things do happen. So here we've got the conduit that goes all the way to the wellhead. Don't ask me why whoever drilled this well did so on the top of this rock. I think that there's easier places on this land to work with, but it is what it is. That's what they did, and it produces. So there's no reason to go through the expense of relocating a wellhead that may or may not produce. So here is a good example of what we're dealing with, this rock shelf. No reason to keep digging and digging and digging and jackhammering. Jackhammering? Is that such a phrase? Jackhammering? Uh, this rock shelf. All you have to do is bring in topsoil, as you can see here, or fill dirt, and just do a good job of bedding this in, which is going to be the water line and the Schedule 40. I believe it's Schedule 40. Yeah, Schedule 40 conduit. And that is what the whole trench looks like. And that's to the wellhead. And then off to my left is where our septic line is, or our septic tank. And that'll come right into the same trench. I'll take you up there so you can see what that looks like. 1,200 gallons of separation or holding, I should say separation. Should be on about a 3-year rotation for pump out. Then we have a sand filter and a drain field. So right here, maybe a couple hundred feet away from the well, which is good. We got our septic. Now this is just the holding tank. Here's our septic. And there is a pump in there, but that's being replaced because the pump is 40 years old. So we'll cut into this. This is just a one tank system, 1,200 gallons in there. There's a screen before the pump, the pump basket. And so that's going to be improved. We're actually replacing this riser, and we're going to install a riser over here, 24 inches on both risers. And then after the new risers are installed, we'll actually come over and completely cover in 2 feet of soil the holding tank. And the reason why you do that is because if you have grasses that grow over your holding tank, not a big deal if you have 2 feet because the grass roots don't go that deep. But you do get, if you leave your tank exposed, you do get a little bit of erosion. Now, remember, this is a 40-year-old tank, but because it's exposed and it goes through that freeze and thaw cycle that we experience, you get a little bit of deterioration in your concrete. But if you bury it 2-3 feet, then it doesn't go through that freeze and thaw cycle. And so what we're going to do is we're going to increase the height of this riser back here. We're going to install a new riser. Both of these are going to be 24 inches, and so that way we're going to completely bury the tank. And then we do have a little bit of root intrusion into the tank, and it's because of these grasses that are growing literally maybe 2 inches of topsoil that's over this tank. So we're just going to go ahead and scratch this, shovel it off, and that way we get rid of all the grass that's immediately on it, make those improvements, and then cover it up with topsoil. And then the trench gets dug from here to there for the septic line, and it goes all the way up to where the house is going to be.